Last time on Rap Beef Recap.
So my prediction is that Kendrick Lamar is not going to respond right away because Drake is begging him to. And I think it's going to be a diss that is unlike anything we've ever heard in this decade.
Famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now spiraling. Before you figure that you're not alone, ask what Mike would do. Your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you're not a colleague, you a fucking colonizer.
I never thought that this would be the way he responded, to be honest. I knew it was going to be something crazy, something unlike anything we've ever seen in the rap game before, but this diabolical, maniacal, vile, where does it end? Holy shit, dude. Let's catch up a little bit. If you watched my last video that I made on all of the rap beef going on in 2024, welcome back. Nice to see you again. You look good. If you didn't, you're probably caught up with the beef anyway, so let's talk about it. I mentioned this in my last video, but again, to reiterate, this is not a lyric analysis video or a decoding of every hidden meaning behind every line, because that would literally make this video 5 hours long and we both don't have the time for that. This is just me talking about it. And I know, look at me. I am the target audience for rap music. No, it's obvious that I am not the target audience for rap music, but God forbid I love it anyway. I grew up listening to rap music. Hip hop has been a huge part of my life and it's just been a strong interest of mine. So fuck, can't help it. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not an expert at anything. I will never claim to be one. I'm also not here to change your opinion, just as you are not here to change mine. I already have my opinion set in stone. You already have yours. Let's not argue about it. It's a waste of time. I appreciate the concern, but you will not be changing my opinion. But this is just my take on everything. So blah, blah, blah. Okay. And just like the last video, I will be popping in to give you some updates because it is now Monday, May 13th. It seems like every day something new happens or new information comes out. So this is present day Maddie in my bed, Monday, May 13th. Now that we got all of that out of the way, the day after I released my first video on this topic was April 30th. Kendrick dropped his first response to Drake called Euphoria. Now this man Kendrick dropped on a random Tuesday morning. I was literally in the middle of a meeting when it dropped, muted that shit real quick, turned the volume down, and listened to it. This was definitely unlike anything we've ever seen in a diss track. The song begins with this like reverse saying, "Woo, shit, my man said this, everything they say about me is true." So that audio is from Richard Pryor. He was in the movie The Wiz, and he played the wizard who is basically exposed for being a fraud, which I'm guessing is aimed at Drake to just signify that he's being something that he's not, essentially. And this is just the first 1.5 seconds of the song, and we already have a decoding. Again, I'm not doing it for every part of the song, but that part was just significant. Then we move into this like very soothing beat. We're just like walking with Kendrick through the forest, holding his hand is what I visualized. This being a diss track, I was expecting, you know, a hard entrance, you know, like, "That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker." I was expecting something like that, you know, like very straightforward, in your face, loud, but he was very calm. Now, as we have this soothing beat, Kendrick is just calmly speaking to Drake directly, and he's saying, "I can predict your every move," and he calls him out for being a liar, a master manipulator, and an imposter in the calmest tone. When I first heard this, I thought the entire song was just gonna be this tone, but no, that was just the calm before the storm. 53 seconds later, the beat switches and shit goes crazy. The way my jaw dropped and I got chills all over my body with the first beat switch, I was like, okay, here we go. Here we go. Put your seatbelts on, everybody. We're fucking going. Again, I'm not gonna go over every single lyric because there's probably thousands of videos like that at this point. But I'm just gonna sprinkle in some of my favorite parts of the song. What is it? Breaks! You won't work with me no more. Okay. I fucking love this song. They ain't my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly. Let me see you push a T. Let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I mean, if you don't like women, it's real competition. You might pop ass with them. Someone had to say it. Someone had to say it. And if it was going to be anyone, it was going to be Kendrick Lamar. When Euphoria came out, I listened to that shit on a loop for 3 days straight. He goes over a lot in this song. Like, there is so many double entendre, quadruple entendre, octuple entendres. I can't fucking speak. Apparently, he's just that good. Some of the highlights are that Drake is ripping off black culture because he was born a Canadian Jew and was raised by his white mother, a single mother. He reveals just how much he truly hates Drake. Now, people think that this is like a nod to DMX because he had this Breakfast Club interview, which I love, where he is just talking about how he doesn't like Drake.
I don't like anything about Drake. Mom, I don't like his voice. I don't like what he talks about. I be trying to tell his face. I don't like the way he walks, like nothing. I don't like his haircut.
Fun fact, I met DMX when I worked at a coffee shop, beautiful moment, and he told me that I got that flavor and I got that water and to not change, and rest in peace to that man. Kendrick also brings up Drake's alleged ab surgery that kind of circles back to Megan Thee Stallion's hiss, because she mentioned, you know, you hate on girls with BBLs, but you walk around with the same scars. And then there's Rick Ross calling him BBL Drizzy. So I'm like, did this man get a BBL? Did he get ab implants, ab etching, or all of the above? We don't know, because he hasn't really confirmed or denied anything. We learned that Drake sent a cease and desist for the song that set this all off, which was Like That. Kendrick also addresses his ghostwriters, calls him a bad father, mocks his Canadian accent, and he also calls out this Chinese restaurant by name, which gained the restaurant a lot of attention and reviews and business.
Google reviews for the establishment have been soaring with positive feedback.
The Keith Lee effect, if you will. And ironically, New Ho King actually has a Kendrick Lamar special now, so that's pretty funny. Oh yeah, one more thing before we move on. You know, the cover art is the definition of euphoria, a feeling of well-being or elation. So my first thought was like, he named it Euphoria because he's unbothered, he feels great about his life, and he's just doing this because it's his job. However, Euphoria is also the name of a TV show that Drake was an executive producer on, and the show content is like about teenagers and teenagers having sex and stuff. I've never seen the show, but I don't know if the shoe fits. One more thing I forgot to mention, Kendrick's little ooh at the end of Euphoria is so underrated. It's like almost like a laugh, or a shiver of like, I'm heating up, you know, like it's like he's been waiting to just get all of this off of his chest and he's ready. So that alone would have scared the shit out of me. I would have been like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I should write another diss track about this guy, but Drake isn't the brightest. He let Euphoria marinate in everyone's heads for a few days before he dropped another song called 616 in LA. This was on May 3rd, and he only dropped it on Instagram, unfortunately. I wish it was on streaming platforms. Probably because that's where Drake lives. He loves Instagram and memes. He's so silly. So I forgot to mention that the cover art for this was actually just like this zoomed in picture of a Maybach glove, and I think this was kind of just like a warning to Drake, like, hey, remember this glove? Like, recognize this? I know some shit, and you probably don't want me to say any of it, because spoiler alert, Meet the Grams is the zoomed out picture. It has a bunch of other stuff. I'll get to that later. But yeah, I feel like 616 in LA was basically just a warning, like, don't do it. Don't do it. Before even getting into the song, the internet quickly came up with all of these potential significant meanings for 616, including Tupac's birthday, June 16th. June 16th is Father's Day this year, and he called Drake a bad father. It's a play on Drake's timestamp records, the Bible verse 616. Nicole Brown Simpson's funeral was on June 16th. The OJ trial started on June 16th. The show Euphoria premiered on June 16th. And me and my boyfriend's anniversary is also on June 16th. You ever thought about that? Now, I don't know how many of these or if any of these is what Kendrick had in mind when he named this song, or if he just kind of like checked the time and was like, oh, it's 6:16. Nice. That's what I'll call it. Either way, it's a dope song. Now, with this song, I think we have one of the chillest diss tracks of all time. The beat is a sample of Al Green's What a Wonderful Thing Love Is, which also turns out that the guitar player in this song is Drake's dad's cousin, which again, I'm not sure if Kendrick planned this or if it was a coincidence. I don't know. Now in this song, Kendrick points out the fact that OVO might be working for him, meaning he could potentially know somebody on Drake's team who's giving him information, also known as a mole. And then he also mentions that people on Drake's team might be praying for his downfall and he doesn't even know it. He said, your own people don't even fuck with you. And then he calls Drake a terrible person and a bully, which I don't think I've ever heard somebody do this on a diss track or in rap. Like, usually when people talk shit on a diss track, they're like making fun of the person, calling them names, and talk down on them. Kind of like Drake did in the Push Up song. Like, you're short and you have small feet, me. Okay. Well, Kendrick just straight up says, you are a terrible person and you're a bully. That is the most, I feel like, mature thing to say, because it's straight to the point. It's very straightforward, no bullshitting. I'm not gonna call you a dumbass. I'm not gonna call you a piece of shit or anything. You're just a terrible person and you're a bully. Like, and I fucking hate bullies, I think is what he says. And I do too, actually. Fuck bullies. It just was mind-blowing to me. I don't know. He also suggests that Drake could have been paying people to try to find dirt on Kendrick, but they couldn't find anything, and so that's why Drake has to just make up lies, because he has to just cover his own ass and make something up about Kendrick. And he's saying this before Drake has even responded to Euphoria. Like, this is him just like saying like, yeah, you couldn't find anything, so you're probably gonna make some shit up, huh? He also calls out Drake for allegedly having Twitter bots to slander Kendrick's name. And this kind of ties into what happened last year with Pusha T when his name was just like randomly trending because there was just like a bunch of bots saying stuff about him. So there's speculations that he's doing the same thing for Kendrick. And then he ends the song with "What Would Mike Do?" And that's referencing the fact that Drake associates himself with Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson had some questionable people in his circle. So it just kind of brings it back to like, hey, there's people on your own team who don't like you. So that's Friday morning. I'm pumped. I can't focus on anything other than the Kendrick songs, because when does Kendrick drop twice in a week? Not often. Now fast forward to later that night, we get a song from Drake called Family Matters. Before we get into the song though, I do want to talk about the visuals, because I think this was a very important part of this diss track. The visuals are what really made it stand out to me. Without the video, I don't think it would be as impactful, to be honest, but maybe that's just me. I will say I am also a Drake hater, okay? I have not liked Drake since before all of this. I also hate the way that he walks, the way that he talks, the way that he dresses, and his misogyny and his pedophile tendencies, the fact that he hates women, predominantly black women, but then pretends to like women. He sides with women abusers. The list could go on, honestly, but I'll stop there. Anyway, although I don't like the guy, this was an impressive comeback, I will say. Again, I will give credit where credit is due. The video starts out showing a replica of the iconic Good Kid, Mad City van, and I knew immediately he was either gonna blow this up or smash it. He went with the second option. Then we see him at New Ho King, which was the Chinese restaurant that Kendrick mentioned in Euphoria. He shows Tupac's ring, which honestly makes my stomach turn, because I just have a feeling that Tupac would not be cool with him having his ring. I don't know. It just feels wrong. Then we see him talking to some white guy in a bandana. I have no clue who he is or the significance of this guy, but I tried looking it up and I couldn't really find anything, so if someone else knows, let me know. Also, the sun is setting, so the lighting's gonna change throughout this video. Now we'll move on to the song itself. He says this line saying that Kendrick is rapping like he's trying to get the slaves freed or something like that. Huh? As if that's a bad thing? I don't know what his angle was there. Then he calls Kendrick a make-believe activist, which is just dumb, because most of Kendrick's music is focused on social justice and raising awareness for issues such as systematic racism, discrimination, police brutality, domestic violence, and so much more. He's donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Compton school programs. And what have you done, Aubrey? Rap about fucking bitches and iced out the New Ho King owner for a music video and then took all the jewelry back afterwards, probably? Cool, nice, congratulations. Citizen of the Year. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Drake also calls out the fact that Kendrick has a mixed wife and then makes fun of him for sleeping with white women. And we know this because Kendrick already admitted that himself on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, so it's just kind of like, okay. I actually went back and re-listened to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and like actually listened to all of the lyrics, and you know, it sounds like him and Whitney aren't together anymore. He says it in, I think it's Mother I Sober, but he says something along the lines of like, by the time you hear the song, Whitney will be long gone, like she's done everything that she can or something. So yeah, I mean, it went over my head the first time. Obviously I thought they were still together, but I don't know. And then there's also rumors that she's actually with Kendrick and the kids in New York or something. Again, this is all alleged. I don't know these people personally. And then he claims that Kendrick's son isn't actually his and that it's this guy named Dave Freeze, which is the co-founder of PG Lang with Kendrick. That's their company. Very bold claim. There's no proof, by the way. He's just kind of saying this stuff. So this was actually proven false. DJ Academics, which is Drake's like biggest dick writer, fan, he actually said something along the lines like that Drake lied about Kendrick's son being Dave Freeze's son. So
Kendrick's kid isn't Dave Freeze, from my understanding. So Drake lied.
Add that to another list of things Drake has lied about. Shocker. He makes fun of Kendrick for being short yet again. We're still doing that? I don't think anyone ever said Kendrick's tall. I don't think Kendrick ever said like, hey, I'm tall as fuck. So it's like, we get it, dude. You can only make fun of someone for being short for so long before it's kind of dated, you know? Like, it's old. This isn't a diss track just to Kendrick himself, because then he shifts gears and he starts dissing The Weeknd, Metro Boomin, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky. And his diss to A$AP was just dumb. He was just like, I didn't realize you still make music because you're so handsome and you're fashionable. Also, I bet you're gonna have another kid with my dream girl Rihanna. Like, bro, what? That's what you got? That's your ammo? Tell me you're jealous without telling me you're jealous. Yeah, go have another fucking kid, weirdo. Go have a fucking beautiful ass family that I know nothing about. Oh shit. Surprisingly enough, the only one he doesn't really diss is Future. He basically just like reminisces on their friendship and then blames Metro Boomin for their falling out, which is just kind of silly. It's like, hey, I think Future can think for himself. I think he can judge people on his own behalf. And then he says, yeah, you're right. Fuck the big three. It's just Big D. Haha. And there's video proof. Because he leaked his own fucking masturbation video on the internet, allegedly. I think it was him. This man's so full of himself, he would suck his own dick if he could. He then accuses Kendrick of being a bad partner to his fiancée Whitney and accuses him of abusing her physically, which is hard for me to believe for a few reasons, just because Kendrick is so like, he just seems like a gentle soul in general. But the fact that he already kind of publicly admitted that he cheated on her and didn't treat her the way that she deserved on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he just kind of airs out his dirty laundry on that whole album and kind of goes over the fact that he's like been going to therapy and healing and working on, you know, recovering from his previous sex addiction and addiction to lust. But now he's overcome that and he's a new person and he's healed and he's self-aware and ending a generational curse, if you will. I just can't see him skipping over that. I feel like he would have said something along the lines of like, I shouldn't have put my hands on you or something. Like, you know, I feel like he would have admitted it because he just kind of, he put his shit out there already. So I don't know. Again, there's no proof of this, so I think Drake's just pulling shit out of his ass. Drake then continues to taunt Kendrick and Whitney probably that the wedding probably won't happen because Kendrick's still a bachelor and that's why he moved to New York and he doesn't want to commit. Again, these are just accusations. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So now basically he's calling Kendrick a phony and a liar and an abuser, and now it just feels like a finger pointing game. Like, you're a liar. No, you're a liar. You did this. No, you did this. It's like, hey guys, quit the shit and let's see some evidence. Okay? As the world is still digesting Family Matters, not even 30 minutes later, Kendrick drops a song again. This is 2 songs in one day from Kendrick Lamar. This song is called Meet the Grams. I remember my boyfriend was showing me Family Matters, and then right when I opened my phone, I saw that Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams, and I was like, no fucking way. And it was a Friday night. I was trying to leave the house. I was trying to go out and shake some ass, but these guys were dropping tracks left and right. It took me forever to leave my house that night. Now, Meet the Grams was just different. First, we have the cover art, which is like a bunch of random, seemingly random stuff, but we have some prescriptions, Zolpidem. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's like commonly used to drug women and sexually assault them. Not a good look. And then we have Ozempic. And Ozempic is a drug that's supposed to help people with type 2 diabetes, but it's now being popularized as a weight loss drug, unfortunately. But it's super ironic because Drake made fun of Rick Ross for using Ozempic in Family Matters and says it has a side effect of jealousy. Turns out it might.
Do I believe that this Ozempic prescription for Drake is real? Yes.
We also have like a Maybach glove, we have some receipts, we have this shirt. Apparently all this stuff was from Drake's dad's suitcase, allegedly. I don't really know. I'm not gonna go into it too much because we're gonna talk about the song. So scratch that. It was not from Drake's dad's suitcase. There's this person on Twitter named Ebony Prince something. He's been posting these cryptic tweets for like the last week or so. I don't really understand it too much. I feel like it's all very cryptic. He talks like an anime villain. I don't know. I feel like it's only for him and Drake and those involved to understand. But from what I've seen, first of all, he has all of the stuff from the Meet the Grams cover. So Drake did not plan that. So he is one of like the moles, I suppose, giving Kendrick information. Not only that, he has all of the stuff and this laptop, which is assumed to be Drake's. There's, some footage on there, like this security camera footage, and he's leaving these cryptic messages saying, Jimmy Brooks wouldn't be proud. Jimmy Brooks is who Drake played on Degrassi, who is in a wheelchair. And there's a picture of Drake with this guy in a wheelchair behind him, or someone who's like disabled. So there's like speculation that he did something to this person. There's also just been a lot of rumors about Drake allegedly sex trafficking children. There's like this small screenshot of like this paper. I don't know what it means, This anonymous Twitter person, though, has been very cryptic. They also posted like jewelry. I don't know the significance of it because, again, he talks like an anime villain and I don't know what he's talking about. This song was particularly eerie and dark. From the piano to the tone of Kendrick's voice, this man means business. He addresses each member in Drake's immediate family, starting with Adonis, which is his son. Now, Kendrick addresses Adonis as like a father figure and mentor, talks about how terrible of a father Drake is, and that when Kendrick looks at Drake, he wishes his grandpa wore a condom, meaning Drake's dad, which is like, damn, dude. He brings up the fact that Drake got peed on by another man, and basically just encourages Adonis to treat women better than the way Drake treats his mom, and the way Drake treats women in general. Next, he talks to Sandra, who is Drake's mom. He brings up Drake's misogynistic lyrics and misogynistic behavior, and wonders if she feels disturbed by them, being she is his mother and a woman. Then he talks to Drake's dad, Dennis. He says, "I'm blaming you for all his gambling addiction, psychopath intuition, the man that liked to play victim. You raised a horrible fucking person. The nerve of you, Dennis." Not only is he saying, fuck you, you're a terrible person, to Drake himself, but to his father. How dare you raise such a horrible person? I don't know, that cuts deeper than just saying like, fuck you, bitch, you're ugly, Like that's saying you're a terrible fucking person. Wow. And now it seems like he's talking to both parents, and says their son is a sick man with sick thoughts, and he thinks that people like him should die. He's talking to his parents, and he said, I think people like your son should die. He talks about how Drake hates black women and hypersexualizes them, which someone had to say it. And this was from Genius, so obviously if you want to like see every lyric meaning, go to Genius. But it says, in this section, Kendrick refers to the sexual assault claims of Laquana Morris when on tour in Manchester, UK. The former stripper and Instagram model alleged, Drake forced me to perform oral on him. It wasn't ordinary oral, it was more so a fetish. She then describes how he told her to spit into a cup until he had measured it. What? In my last video, I had a skit where Drake talks about 2 girls, 1 cup, and I think he'd probably be into that now, for sure, after reading this. He brings up that Drake allegedly has sex offenders on OVO, which is like Drake's group. Kendrick then reiterates that Drake should die so that young women can live with a purpose. Ruthless. This isn't just like, oh, I'm better than you, I'm the best rapper. Like, this is like, you're a horrible fucking person, you treat women like shit, and you should fucking die, you fucking pedophile. This is real shit. Kendrick then implies that Drake and others in the music industry are running sex trafficking rings in their homes. Unfortunately, this doesn't surprise me because of all of the allegations that have been happening this year. Also, what is it with rich men doing shit like this? You know, you're rich. You could like literally do anything, and this is what you choose to do. First of all, you're famous. There's a lot of grown women that would probably be interested in these guys. You know, why stoop to a weird level? I don't understand it. If I was rich, I would just travel a lot and eat good. So I just don't get that. And to be honest, I think 2024 is the year of exposure of Hollywood because, I mean, Quiet on Set was a start, right? I think that was a good start, but I think we're going to start seeing more come forward within the music industry. The only like setback to this would be NDAs or hush money. I feel like Drake is the type of person to make people sign NDAs or pay like a hush money fee to have people not talk about things. Like the lawsuit where she spit in the cup or whatever, he paid her like $300,000 or something to just kind of shut up about it. I don't know. There was also this TikTok that went viral back in 2021.
And this information came to me from one of the crew members on Drake's tour. This was the guy who did all the tech stuff. And he told me that Drake has an employee whose job is to go around town looking for super hot girls. He finds the girls and then he interviews them. And out of all the girls he interviews, he picks the one that he thinks is the best. Then he drives her to Drake's place. Drake has sex with her, and then he drives her home. So basically, Drake has his own private Tinder.
So there's that.
So fast forward, I got off the plane, he had sent a private out to get me. But before I went inside his house, they made me sign an NDA. So I can't really say too much, but I had looked up my NDA rules, so I know what I can and can't say. You feel me? So when I get in the house, we just sitting on the couch, chilling, talking. He kept on rubbing on my stomach and kept on asking questions like, do you want kids? So we watch a movie. We drinking Casamigos. So y'all know we did what we did. I don't have to go in detail about that because it's self-explanatory. But he did not use protection, which was a little weird. So after we did what we did, we just cuddling and we're watching another movie. So I had pulled my phone out and I had recorded him. And as soon as he seen me recording him, he slapped my phone out my hand. I'm not even gonna lie, I got a little scared because that slap was aggressive. He was like, you gotta go. Just because I recorded you, really? But I had posted the video on my Instagram. All the receipts is on my Instagram, so I don't got time for y'all to be like, I'm lying and all of that, because what do I have to lie for?
Drake just weirds me out. Continuing with the song, we hear Kendrick now say, "Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father's not active inside your world. He doesn't commit to much but his music. Yeah, that's for sure. He's a narcissist, misogynist, living inside his songs. Try to destroy families rather than taking care of his own. Should be teaching you timetables or watching Frozen with you. Or at your 11th birthday party singing poems with you." Uh-oh. Drake has another child? Huh? Kendrick again goes on to play this father-like role to Drake's alleged daughter, to which he promptly denied these allegations on his favorite place in the world, Instagram. He posted an Instagram story basically denying that he had a daughter, but like, you didn't deny anything else, he said. Okay. I mean, spoiler alert, Drake claims that he like planted this information to Kendrick and that he's like setting him up. So you'd think if Kendrick said this and Drake set him up, you'd think that he'd be like, oh, you fell for it, ha ha ha, instead of being like, I have an 11-year-old daughter, where is she, send her to me, which you would want an 11-year-old sent to you, fucking weirdo. We'll get to that a little bit later, but just wanted to point that out. Now he starts speaking directly to Drake. The first thing he says is, I know you're probably thinking I want to crash your party, and I think he means, you know, the fact that he just dropped a song, but he's just gonna like drop real quick too. Like, hey, how y'all doing? And he basically says, look, I wasn't gonna take it here, but you brought up my family and people close to me, so now here we are. He says that Drake has gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping and spending problems, soliciting women problems. Like, damn. He calls him entitled, ego-driven, and even suggests that he might even have more than just another hidden child. He might have multiple children that he's hiding. And now this album cover makes a little bit more sense. If this is true and you really are an absent father to so many children, which I could honestly believe if he gets around as much as he says he does. Yeah, you're a horrible fucking person. Now the last part cuts deep, and he just lists a bunch of things that he's lied about publicly. We don't know what he's lying privately, but yeah. He said, "Why believe in you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. You lied about your religious views. You lied about your surgery. You lied about your accent. You lied about your ghostwriters, your crew members, your son, your daughter. You lied about them other kids that are out there that hoping that you come. You lied about the only artist that can offer you some help. Fuck a rap battle. This a lifelong battle with yourself." This is not an ordinary rap diss. This is dissecting Drake for his character flaws, his addictions, his insecurities, his ego, his internal misogyny, lack of maturity, lack of self-awareness, and so much more that I can't even comprehend as an audience member. Like, damn. And that's not all, because the very next day we get another song from Kendrick, and this one was a bop. This one was fire. So this song is called Not Like Us, produced by DJ Mustard. The beat's hard, the song is just catchy. It's a club hit. It's a certified hit. Now all the Drake stans and Kendrick haters were complaining on Twitter that Kendrick's songs weren't catchy or they weren't like hit songs. Y'all trying to pop ass to diss tracks now or what? Anyway, Kendrick delivered this flawlessly. He said, "You want to shake ass to diss tracks? Here you go. Certified lover boy. Certified p***. Wow, 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 wow. He a fan here. Let me hear you say OV ho. OV ho. Say this step this way. Step that way, then step this way." Like, okay. Basically on this track, Kendrick continues the allegations of him being a pedophile and liking younger girls. He also brings up Baka, aka Baka Not Nice. He's a former OVO security guard and current OVO artist, but he was previously arrested for prostitution and human trafficking. So, that's great. Good look for Drake. Now, the line that had everybody gagged was,
"Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor."
Again, not a whole lot of new information on this song. It was more just kind of like trolling the trolls. Like, he can make a hit song and a diss track at the same time if he really wants to. And honestly, the past week has just shown his versatility within his craft. He can be funny as fuck dissing you. He can be chill as fuck dissing you. He can be a little scary while dissing you. Or he can make you dance while he's dissing you. Yeah, he's amazing. And just when we thought it was over, May 5th, Drake drops another song called The Heart Part 6. And if you didn't know, the name is an addition to Kendrick's 5-part The Heart series. And the name alone let me know that he was lurking Twitter, because there were so many tweets saying like, "Oh, Drake has to name his next diss track The Heart Part 6 as a joke." Like, they're joking, and he took it seriously. And he actually did it, which somehow makes it less cool. Like, okay, you're stealing ideas from other people. Congrats. And that's kind of how I felt about this whole song, to be honest. To summarize, Drake basically says to Kendrick that the people you're getting your stories from are clowns, but actually we've been plotting this setup for a week. We made up the 11-year-old daughter and told you that just to trick you. We almost gave her a name too. You need to fact check things. And also the medication we gave you was planned and you're dumb. So he calls the people that he's getting his stories from clowns, but then is like, actually we did that. But again, going back to what I said earlier, I feel like if he would have planned this, the fact that he videotaped the whole Family Matters video, I feel like he would have recorded himself like taking a peace sign with like all the stuff that was laid out and like planting it there, or like you wouldn't have thought to record this stuff, have like a gotcha moment to get him before he got him. And it's like, I just think he got this idea from Twitter and he's trying to use it to save his image, which has been heavily damaged by Kendrick at this point. Because yeah, all this just sounded familiar. All of this was tweets. Like, I was reading all of this stuff and now it's like, oh, now all of a sudden he's saying it. It just seems redundant. I don't know. I don't buy it. These photos have surfaced of Drake with this little girl who I'm really hoping is his daughter or someone related to him, because I don't know why he's all over her like that. But people are speculating that this might be his daughter, but it's alleged. So Kendrick already warned us that he's a master manipulator and a liar, and that he lied about all this other stuff. What what reason do we have to believe him? I don't know. But you know damn well his fans will believe him. Another thing that he brings up is that Whitney doesn't follow Kendrick on Instagram, but she follows Dave Free, which again, Drake is accusing his son of being Dave Free's son. She follows Dave Free, but not Kendrick. Which really just goes to show where his priorities lie, because what the fuck are we talking about? She doesn't follow him on Instagram. Well, he doesn't follow her either. So now what? He follows one person, I think. Nor does Kendrick ever really post on Instagram, and she doesn't really post that often either. I don't even think they really use it that much. I guess the importance of that information is just how much you value Instagram and like who follows you and who doesn't and who you follow. This just again shows how immature he really is. Then he points out the fact that Dave left heart emojis under Whitney's picture of her with the kids, again claiming that one of the kids could be his. This is also the cover art of the song. It's giving maturity level of a 14-year-old boy. Then he says, this Epstein angle was the shit I expected. I'm sorry, what? Why would anyone expect you to be a sex trafficker or a pedophile unless you legit had a good reason to give them so? You expected this why? And you claim to be innocent? Okay. He claims Kendrick made a song about how Kendrick got molested. He's referring to Mother I Sober, where he made it clear he was never molested. His family was just asking him if this happened to him, and he said no. However, Drake already sounds stupid and continues to do so, because then he says, Touch My Body by Mariah Carey play, you probably start reflecting, which just goes to show how insensitive he is to sexual abuse, which leads me to believe that he's definitely sexually abused someone or multiple people in his lifetime, but that's just my opinion. That's my speculation. Then he says, if I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd been arrested. I'm way too famous for this shit. Like, hey, famous people can be predators too. So he's just basically being like, nuh-uh, no I'm not. If anything, fame is probably more of a guard, like a protector, because with fame is power and usually wealth. And a lot of times wealthy people don't get caught in this shit because, again, there's hush money and there's NDAs and there's just like the power level, the power dynamic over a victim. It's just crazy. And again, I think that's the only reason why women aren't coming forward, because hush money or NDAs or both. Time will tell. He continues to deny that he's into teenagers, which, okay, sure. Then he says that Kendrick's the one buying bots, calls him a liar, and says that everything he's saying is bullshit and calls him a piece of shit. That is where we are now. It is May 6th. A lot has happened, and I cannot lie, this is the craziest rap beef I have ever witnessed. This completely changes the trajectory of hip-hop and rap music as we know it. Like, I can never look at these two the same ever again, for better or for worse. Like, this shit is like going down in history. We are witnessing history. I will be able to remember exactly where I was when each of these songs dropped, because there's never been such a back and forth so quickly like this. Like, whew. On a side note, Metro Boomin made this BBL Drizzy beat and is doing a giveaway, so that's hilarious. And Rick Ross crashed his plane, but he's okay. I don't know if Kendrick's gonna respond to this, but if he does, I will update this video now. Nope, nothing yet. So I don't know. A lot of the internet seems to think that this beef is over. I have a feeling it's not over just yet, but I guess we'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think it's over. If I missed anything, feel free to fill in the blanks. Have a discussion in the comments. Do what you want to do. If you're new here, my name is Maddie the Baddie, your new favorite YouTuber. I usually make little silly commentary videos on stuff that I think is funny. I also make videos that I'm passionate about, such as music. This is my second music recap video. I think I might make more of these videos. I got a lot of good feedback on my last one, which I really appreciate you if you're one of those people and you're watching this one too. I'm just a little small YouTuber right now, but that'll change someday. Anyway, I don't know about you guys, but this shit has been a lot. It's been overwhelming and distracting. I have not been productive. I'm currently pushing like 2 videos back because I wanted to do this, because this is the only thing that I could focus on, and I just wanted to make this video and talk about it. So, and if you're sticking around, I'll see you in the next video. I appreciate you, and bye.